What's going on, you guys? Coaster here to be talking a little bit of Sharks news. Now, recent news, of course, happened. Marc-Edouard Vlasic gets a big extension, 5 years, I believe, 4.2 million cap hit to his new part of the contract. I think he would have been a free agent after 2013. I like that extension a lot because it's a bargain. I honestly think he should be valued in the 5 million range. So the fact that he took a hometown discount, very, very nice. The Sharks are good at always keeping those homegrown players and not making them test free agency. The Sharks do a very good job at that. Rentals are an exclusion, but when it comes to keeping guys and taking a hometown discount, the Sharks are very good at making sure players don't test free agency if they want to keep them. They're good at doing that, and it shows with Vlasic. Brent Burns didn't even test the market at all, surprisingly. He signed right when we traded for him. Sorry, so there's a pretty good job, I think, with the way that went. Other stuff that's gone on: Sharks hired Larry Robinson and Jim Johnson to the staff. Matt Shaw will be gone. Jay Woodcroft will no longer be coaching the penalty killing. Thank goodness. Penalty killing, it's been a joke. I know some of it's the players' fault, but a lot of it's coaching. The scheme just isn't there, whatever they're doing. So I'm expecting an improvement in the penalty killing. Larry Robinson, a proven guy. The stats don't lie of how his penalty killing units were with the Devils. Considering that he learned under a great coach in Jacques Lemaire, there's no denying that he knows what defense is. He's not going to be playing neutral zone trap, of course, but I do expect to see a much more better penalty killing unit and defense as a whole. I think Johnson was another guy on the Capitals who focused on defense. We'll see what happens with the Devils. I mean, they lost a couple of assistants now, and they lost Zach Parise very recently. But I like what I'm seeing when it comes to the two hirings, because I felt with the coaching staff there needed to be somewhat of a shakeup. Not necessarily McClellan being fired. I didn't want that to happen, but some of the assistants, I think whatever they were doing, it wasn't working. So it's nice to see a shakeup there. I hope McClellan lets Robinson and Johnson have some control on the defense, which is what I'd be expecting to do. Otherwise, though, free agency, I don't think the Sharks can do anything. They can make a few minor signings, which they did with, I believe, Adam Burris, very minor signing, expected to be on the bottom six. Other than that, though, they can only sign a few bottom six guys because they have a bunch of defensemen under contract. They got pretty much all the forwards under contract for next year. They're probably trying to make a trade or two here and there. They're probably negotiating that, but I'm not going to be able to see it for the next 10 days. I'm going to be out of the state, away from the computer, pretty much away from the internet for the next 10 days. So if something happens, I'm not going to see it. I just hope the Sharks don't get Rick Natch. I've already said that before. I don't want to see us give up the kitchen sink for him. I think Klo could be good trade bait for some player out there if they're talking, but otherwise, I'd rather keep Pavelski, Couture, build the team around those two guys, and then Vlasic. When it comes to Vlasic, I didn't like him three or 4 years ago. I thought he was mediocre, but in his last 2 years, he was worth it. It's proven me wrong, and I'm happy to see that. Not so long ago, people might have remembered Mika Kiprusoff being traded for a second-round pick. And I know Mika Kiprusoff beat us in 2004 in the whole Western Conference Finals, but who was that second-round pick? It was Marc-Edouard Vlasic. And that pick has panned out very, very well. We got a defense for the next 6 years for a good mainstay of time. I like what I'm seeing there. He did test free agency, so no complaints, really, with the two hirings and Vlasic staying with us. I think Robinson will probably be the biggest pickup that we've had this entire offseason. It may not be, I know it's not a player, but I think the scheme, changing the players with how they play penalty killing is going to be a big, big factor next year. And they're going to need to make that difference, because otherwise, 29th in penalty killing is unacceptable. Highly unacceptable. And somehow, if this team gets cold like they did last year, at the end of last year, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilson fires McClellan, if there's a cold run, a very bad cold run for that matter. I think Robinson could step in as an interim out of nowhere if something happens and they're getting cold. Just don't be surprised if it happens. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I want to see success, but if something happens, I think Robinson is that guy, I guess, emergency if he has to step in. So let me know what you guys think. You like the extension? Because, as I said before, I think that's a bargain. And I like the two hirings in Johnson and Robinson, that there's someone new to fix the defense / penalty killing. So let me know what you guys think. See you guys later. And once again, I'm going to be away from the internet for the next 10 days until July 22nd. So if something happens, I'm not going to know. You're not going to see me with a video right when it happens. So we'll see you guys later.